Okay. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Alvin, Darien. I want to welcome you to our How Money Works conversation. Today, I'm going to break down some financial information that could be life-changing for you. I'm also going to break down some information you may already know, some information that may be new to you. All I ask, if you sit back, relax, take some notes, and I want to share with you this How Money Works lifestyle, how money works concepts, how money works financial awareness. So let's jump right into it. The financial illiteracy is the number one economic crisis. Financial illiteracy is number one. It's the world's largest threat to your freedom, and it's impacting and affecting over 5 billion people. You notice the young lady there, she has a headache. She's thinking about her money. She's thinking about her next financial moves, and she may be short every month. She may have more month at the end than money. So as people go through their finances, it creates frustration when you don't have enough money coming in. Financial literacy can cause poverty, debt, stress, divorce, confinement, even a shorter lifespan. So if you think about this, 44% of Americans do not have cash to cover a $400 emergency. 43% of student loan borrowers are not making their payments. And people are paying big time interest on their credit cards. As a matter of fact, over 9,300 is the average credit card debt. Now, 33% of American adults have zero in savings. Now, as we continue this conversation, I want you to be committed to understanding money and committed to a financial education. See, the older we get, we should understand more about money. But it seems like so many individuals that are really getting close to retirement, they're not ready mentally, they're not ready emotionally, and they're not ready financially. So, which family are you? Family A or family B? Now, family A is 95% of the population. That's majority of the population. Family A has less than $100,000 saved. They have no financial education. They try to do it themselves. No financial professional. They have a job they don't like. They put money in the bank. They have a 401k plan they don't really understand. Term life insurance that will expire, credit card debt all the way up to their forehead, and renters for the last 3 generations in some families, and a minimum tax advantages. That's family A. I want to help you become family B. And if you're already family B, I want you to teach another family how to be family B. Well, family B has over 250,000 saved, some financial education, have a financial professional, business owners or own several businesses, diversified portfolio, index accounts, permanent life insurance, they're debt-free, homeowners, and they're going to max out their tax advantages. So 95% people are family A and 5% people are family B. Decisions we make today will impact future generations of tomorrow. So let's talk about some demographics here when it comes to age. There's 72 million millennials, 65 million Generation X. I'm part of Generation X. I'm 1 year into Generation X. I missed millennials by 1 year. 71 million baby boomers. $68 trillion would change hands in the next 25 years. 10,000 baby boomers turn 65. Every day, that's 4 million people turning 65. They're worried about their money. They're concerned about their money. Most people in Generation X, they're just looking for new cash flow and more cash flow. And we're going to talk about that. I truly believe there's a time for disruption. There's a force for disruption. Now is the time for us to really change our finances and change our thinking and change our mindset. But not only change it, we want to transform it, because when you transform something, it can never go back to its original state. I mean, never go back. So the way we're going to do it is through our education system. And we want to teach people how money works. And we have a book to go along with it. We have classes to go along with it. We want to make sure you get a copy of this book right here. And when it comes to an education system, you got to understand it's information, education, and then implementation. Now, just to share with you that 75 million plus people so far viewed one of our segments on how money works. There are some large companies, large television stations and media stations you see on the screen. But I want you to know that we're taking this mainstream and we're not stopping. We want to go out there and educate and teach people how money works. As a matter of fact, we have a whole initiative, a whole campaign called Teach It Forward. We want to teach the information and then you teach the information, because everything in this book, let me tell you, is life-changing financial information. Now, you got to be a student, right? Regardless of age, you're never too young or you're never too old to learn about money. Just imagine 10 years from now, knowing what you know now, right? You can make better financial decisions. How about make those decisions today? You know, I've read a lot of financial books and they're this thick, some of them. Look how thin this book is. You can start today by being a student on how money works. Now, let's go back in time. Before we go back in time, I want to share with you some concepts, right? I want to share with you 3 powerful concepts, and then we're going to go back to your very first paycheck later on. But here we go. The rule of 72, right? The $1 million baby and the 7 money milestones is what we teach people. Today, I'm going to shine the light on the rule of 72. The number 72 is a powerful number when it comes down to financial education, when it comes down to financial compound interest. So you take 72, you divide it by the interest rate, okay? And it will tell you how many years your money will double. How many doubles do you have left in your life? Well, if you're getting 1%, then your money will double every 72 years. Do you even have 72 years for your money to double? Most people don't. Well, let's take a look at it. 72 divided by 1 is 72 years to double. 72 divided by 3 is 24 years for a double. So every 24 years, you get a double. 72 divided by 6 is 12 years your money will double. 72 divided by 9 is 8 years. And I can't guarantee 12, but there's places over time you can get 12. Your money doubles every 6 years. Here's the key, and don't ever forget this. You got to get a double on your money, then get a double on your double, then double your double. Well, let me introduce you to Zoe. Zoe is 19 years old. She's one of the characters from our book. She just inherited $10,000. So she puts her money in the bank, and think about it. With the rule of 72, she didn't even get one double by age 67. Well, if she got 3% interest, her money grew to 40,000. 6% interest, 160,000. Now you see more doubles are happening. Okay, you look at 9%, you got 6 doubles. And if she got 12%, then that's going to be 8 doubles on her money. And I'm telling you this now, $2.5 million is a lot better than 16,000. Well, most people put their money in the banks, savings accounts, and they're getting less than 1%. There's $10 trillion, 10 trillion with a T inside of banks and savings. Well, I'm not picking on your bank. I want you to know these are some of the interest rates that the banks are paying. So 0.20, 0.05, 0.01. If we were to put that to the rule of 72, what would the numbers look like? Well, let's see. 72 divided by 0.09 equals 800 years for a double. And I'm sure your great grandchildren will be thrilled. So if you had $1 in 2020, and you waited 800 years for a double getting less than 1%, that's 2820. The math doesn't add up in your favor. Well, let's look at a credit card, right? So 72 divided by 17% is 4.2 years. That means that the credit card is doubling their balance in their favor every 4.2 years. Everybody, we got to make some changes. We got to shift it. We got to make sure that we're getting the higher interest and we're paying the lower interest. You know, right now, people are borrowing money at an all-time high. People are borrowing money more than they're saving. So let's talk about our savings habits. You know, in 1980s, in the 80s, not just 1980, but the 80s, the decade, we saved as a country 10%. People were saving money. And then the 90s came in, we were saving 5%. And then the 2000s, we were saving 2%. And then today, where do you think we stand? Where do you think we stand? Negative 1% in some age ranges. Some age groups is a negative 1%. You know, a wise man shared this with me. He said, Alvin, if you save 10% of your money, there's a chance you will be poor. If you save 20% of your money, there's a chance you will be okay. And if you save 30% of your money, there's a chance you will be wealthy. So let me tell you this, discipline and consistency are the keys. You got to be disciplined and you got to be consistent. That is the key to building wealth. So remember earlier I said we're going to go back in time. Let's do it now. Let's go back to your very first paycheck. So where were you working and how old were you? So let's say I was around 15 years old. I was working at a Carrie Hilliard's restaurant off of Abercorn Street in Savannah, Georgia. And I was the bus boy. I was bussing tables. And when I got my very first check, right? When I got my very first check, guess what happened? I was introduced to Medicare, FICA, Social Security, state, federal. I'm like, who are these people taking money out of my check? But one thing I did learn at an early age was to pay myself first, to save more money. So now let's fast forward from your very first check till today. Are you happy and satisfied with the amount of money you saved since your first paycheck? Okay, what are 3 things, and write it down, what are 3 things you're going to do different? Did you have a financial coach? Would you save more money? So what's going to change today going forward? You know, I'm so thankful that I'm sharing this with you today because people are living longer and the information got to go from information to education to implementation. So we got to take action now. So starting today, let's say now you have more knowledge, you have more information. So you will make more and better smart money decisions when it comes to accumulation. That means your money is growing. You're young, you have energy, you're working, your money is working. And then you have to make a decision. When you're going to retire, what age? You remember back in the day, 65 was, oh, you're 65, you're retired. No, that's not the case anymore. 72 and a half is the new retirement age, according to required minimum distribution. It's about how much money you have. So the next phase will be distribution phase, okay? Distribution phase. That means money's coming back to you. Now, how much income per month will you need to survive? Let me rephrase that. Let me make it a little nicer. How much income per month will you need to support your desired future lifestyle? And how many checks do you expect in the future? How many paychecks past the age of 65 do you expect to come in? Now, what is FIN number? Financial independence number. That number will let me know at what point you can now live off your money without running out of money. So while you're building your wealth, there's options for you to put your money. Let's break it down. There's 3 options, very simple: fixed, variable, and index. Remember those bank accounts we shared that was getting like 0.01 or 1% or less? That's a fixed account. Majority of people have their money in a fixed account. Now, some of you like, hey, I need some more excitement, right? Now, the money goes up and down and up and down. and up and down. And now you're 70 years old and it goes down. You're like, well, I can't take it. But that's the market. It's unstable. It's uncertain. You don't have control over it. But let's look at an index, right? It follows the market. You're not in the market. It's no correlation to the market, okay? And understand this, you will get step-ups, okay? You will also get lock-ins. So when the market goes up, you lock in. Wow. So if it goes to 100,000 in this example, you lock in at 100,000. If it goes down, guess what happens? Your money is still locked in at 100,000. Now let's be honest. If you saw this 10 years ago, which one would you pick? Okay, I would pick the index. So now we want our money to grow and lock in. And you notice I'm not talking about a company. I'm not talking about a product. I'm just giving you concepts. Let's talk about taxes now. So how money is taxed? Red, yellow, green. That looks familiar, right? Red is caution. Stop. Pay close attention. You're taxed today. You're taxed now. You're going to be taxed immediately, okay? When your money grows, you pay taxes. Now, tax later, tax deferred, tax postponed. My definition is tax forever, because once you put money in here, you will be taxed at distribution. So when your money grows, you pay no tax. But when you pull it out, you got to pay taxes. So those are things like a 401k, 403b, IRA, 408b, TSP, TSA, annuities, qualified plans. Yes, you qualify to pay taxes. You know, a wise man shared this with me too. He said, Alvin, if it begins with a 4, it is designed for the government, by the government, to support the government in the future. It's like, wow, I never thought of it that way. Now, tax advantage is what I want to spend a little time on with you, because tax advantages works like this. When your money grows, you pay no tax. And when you pull the money out, you pay no taxes, as long as you follow the rules. As long as you follow the rules. And those are things like a Roth IRA, a Roth 401k, a cash accumulation insurance, cash savings plans, long-term care, and critical and chronic illness care. Now, the financial cornerstones as we wrap this up. Now, I want to make sure you and your family have protection. There's 2 types of protections. There's money insurance, and then there's long-term care insurance. Well, not long-term care. Let's call it dream insurance. See, money insurance is life insurance. Dream insurance is long-term care. Well, do you want to stop your dream to take care of a loved one, and then they stop their dream to take care of a loved one? But if you got a plan in place, you don't have to worry about it. See, tax advantages, right? You want to put your money in a place that is tax advantage. When it grows, you pay no tax. When you pull it out, you pay no tax. Safety of principle. You don't want to lose your life savings, and you want to grow what you currently have. See, these 4 cornerstones are very, very important. You got to have all 4 of them working for you. Now, we help every client, regardless of income, regardless of education, with the 7 money milestones, right? 7 milestones. The first one, financial education. Don't worry, we got you covered. You got the books, and you have the classes, the virtual classes. You can do it on Zoom. We also have recordings too. Proper protection, number 2. Number 3, emergency fund. You know, how did you handle your last emergency? How did you handle it? Did you get a warning the day before? Like somebody, they knocked on your door and said, hey, you're gonna have an emergency tomorrow. I want you to be ready. No, that doesn't happen. And what about debt? How are you going to handle your debt? What is your debt freedom plan? You got to have a debt freedom plan. So you got to change your spending habits. You got to have an emergency fund, because 3 and 4 goes together. And then you look at number 5, earning additional income, right? If you make more income, you can pay off debts and you can build more emergency fund. And then you got to look at building wealth. That's my favorite one. because we got to avoid the impact of taxes, avoid the impact of a loss, avoid inflation. And most importantly, you got to have your money grow for your future. And once you do one through six right, you got to do number seven. You got to protect your wealth. You got to create a will and guard your legacy. You don't want the IRS or Uncle Sam getting all your life savings. So everyone, I want to share this with you. Our mission is to teach 20 million families on how money works in the next decade. And we want you to be part of this mission. We want you to be out there and each one teach one. Teach it forward, teach the material, learn the material, right? Now, we're going to stamp out financial illiteracy, just like there was a time people couldn't read and write. There's a time now people don't know how money works. We're going to change that. So everybody, thank you so much for your time today. Hopefully you learned some information. Hopefully some things will impact, your decision making when it comes to your finances. And remember, decision is power. The most powerful thing in the world is a made up mind. You got to make your mind up that you want to be successful, right? You got to make your mind up that you're going to make the right financial decisions. I welcome you to the How Money Works lifestyle, to the How Money Works education platform. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully we will meet soon. Talk to you soon, everyone.